everyone. Welcome back to Drinking During Business Hours. I'm your host, Sarah Halstead, actor, comedian, and wino.
Right now, you look like you're looking at the stars.
I know. I think because oh, you know what? It's because I'm looking at the screen instead of the camera. Okay. Hi. Oh, hi. There you are. There you are. I lost you, but you're back.
Yes, you've never been gone.
I'm an actor, I'm a comedian, and I'm a wino. Nice to see you. Maybe a little too much on the wino side today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you very much for the plethora. We're really crescendoing with listens and comments, and we're getting a lot of emails and interaction from you all, and we're just so thrilled that you're happy with the show. So please like and subscribe and just keep going with those wonderful, even if they're not so wonderful, suggestions, anything. Interaction is good. Keep that algorithm going. Hi, Rich Chassler.
Hi. I didn't know if you were going to introduce me or not. And I'm Rich Chassler. I'm also an actor. I'm also a stand-up. Hold on. I'm also an actor. I'm also a stand-up comedian, and I'm also a stargazer.
There you go.
There you go.
Lost and now you're found.
I'm lost and found. How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Good.
Are you excited for today's show?
I am so excited, not just for our guest, which is enough.
But for the wine.
I'm really, really excited about our guest.
Right.
But we're going to really delve into a very special bottle of wine from Special Friends.
Correct.
This is made by our very, very dear friends, Jeff Durham and Joe Wallows.
And Joe Wallows.
Are the creators of.
Right.
Creators of Gentleman Farmer.
And they have probably the coolest tasting room in Napa. So if you go to Napa, you want to go downtown Napa on First Street and visit the Gentleman Farmer Bungalow.
The bungalow.
It is like nothing you have ever experienced in a wine tasting.
And they're featured this month in Wine Spectator magazine.
Yes, they're in the new Wine Spectator magazine. There's a little bit of feature on them in the Napa Valley section.
So this is 100% Chard, I believe.
This is 100% Chardonnay.
And malolactic fermentation.
Some mallow.
And obviously, you could tell by the color that this is a fuller-bodied Chard.
Yes, it's golden, really like a rich gold color as opposed to like a hay or straw color, which generally is a lighter, cooler climate Chardonnay, a little higher acid. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, you can tell that this is definitely a warm climate Chard.
And I'm going to be really pretentious, and I'm going to taste
spit.
And I'm going to spit.
Good. And we're drinking out of Chardonnay-specific Riedel glasses today, as we always have varietal-specific Riedel.
And I'm not spitting because this isn't great. I'm spitting because I have a shoot tomorrow. And something about Chardonnay just... I see it in my face the next day.
Well, this is really beautiful wine, and I cannot wait to hear what our guest thinks about it.
I cannot wait until I can't feel my face and I can drink.
That'll be tomorrow night.
So anyway, this happens, whenever you get a project, you just got to
can't
lay
drink
off
for a little
booze.
while,
yes.
shoot, and then drink.
Okay. I'm so excited about this guest because she's just absolutely perfect. The perfect profile with what our show is all about.
Yeah.
Which is interesting people, creatives who have a passion for wine and spirits.
Right. And our interesting conversations with them. And
we do.
I don't know how much how less interesting we could get with this one.
This is going to be really interesting.
Really interesting.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado.
Wait, you do the build-up.
Yeah.
She is a medium.
She's a medium.
She works with law enforcement. She works with the FBI. And she's a wine lover.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Jennifer M. Shaffer.
Woo!
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks very much for being on.
And I can help you with like the whole Chardonnay thing and photo shoots.
Right?
It's a total thing. You are completely correct. It's the sulfites. But if you, I don't know if I should say, if you take allergy medicine the night before.
Okay.
And if you have a high zoo pillow that does lymphatic drainage.
Ooh.
And it's the best thing. You wake up and you just do it and you kind of do whatever you need to do for like 20 minutes. And it will make your face look so nice.
It will drain all that Chardonnay
Right out of your body.
Wow. And what is it called? A what pillow?
It's called a high zoo pillow.
High zoo pillow?
High zoo pillow. I
sounds
found it and I
Japanese.
travel with it because when
Okay.
you go on flights, the same
Right.
thing happens. And so I just have learned to do that. And then
Oh, I love-
H-proof before you go to bed.
H-proof.
Mhm.
What is H-proof?
And
That's
I'm
like
not getting paid for any of this.
because you are giving a lot of plugs.
But I have.
Did you
I have
say
one.
age proof or H?
H-proof.
H proof.
H-proof.
H-proof.
You just
Okay.
take a couple tablets. It was designed by doctors, so
Mm.
you never have a hangover.
Oh, you know what? I have heard of H-proof. Okay, now I'm putting it in
Yeah,
context.
I have a whole system of waking up. Hello.
Well,
Okay.
well, if you're listening, H-proof, that would be a really
really
good
happy.
time to offer
Right.
sponsorship to Jennifer or to drinking during business hours.
Exactly.
This is so amazing. I'm dying to drink the wine.
Go. You don't have
Good.
to wait for us.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you for
Enjoy
being here.
your gentleman farmer, Chardonnay.
And this is vintage.
I think it's 2021, if I'm not mistaken, but
okay.
I'll double check.
Now, the thing
And
is
it
with Chardonnay-
2021,
With
This
Chardonnay.
is delicious.
delicious.
This is so yummy.
Yeah, their wines are
So
extremely good.
I'm such a snob. I'm like, I'll bring my own.
No,
Oh, no
listen,
way.
I'm with you. I am a total wine snob,
Yeah.
but I love French wine and I love French whites.
So do I.
But Chardonnay is at the
Chablis.
bottom of that
I
list for
know,
me.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
I would sooner drink, Roussan or Marsan or Picpoul or
Sancerre,
Viognier
yeah.
or Sauv
Any of
Blanc, Sancerre,
Sauv
anything.
Blancs, so they've done brain scans on me, plenty of them, and Chardonnay for ADHD people
Mm.
actually does something to your brain.
Oh.
It calms it down,
Mm.
and so yes, I am a lover of wines.
Right.
My husband is a lover of, like, he collects them. We were actually reminiscing at the fact that he took me to Opus, and it was like one of our first date weekends. A very long time ago.
That's a good
That's
date.
setting the
And I
bar.
looked at him and I'm like, let's go to Opus. And he goes, okay. And I'm like, do you know what a Meritage is? I tried to explain to him what a Meritage was with Rothschilds and Mondavi and how they blended. And he just looked at me. And now I know that look like, oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Cute. She's so cute. I get back and he's like, hey, he was cooking dinner. And he's like, can you go and pick out a bottle of wine? But he goes, my wine fridge was broken. So there's a bunch of bottles that are in the drawers. I'm like, what? So I go downstairs and I open up one drawer and then I start opening. He had 800 bottles. I'm like, he made me, like, he did not stop me from talking about it.
That's literally my number.
And he just didn't I'm like, why did you tell him? And he goes, you wouldn't have said anything.
Oh.
He goes, it was so great that you were
Right.
so excited. He goes, why would I stop that?
It's
I'm like,
funny too that he would say that. Wine is one of those things that's very intimidating to people. It doesn't need to be,
No.
but people get intimidated by it. Like especially the wine list. When the waiter
Right.
puts the wine list down, nobody knows, so they don't know what they're looking at. It's literally
Right.
like reading Greek.
Yeah, and he's a savant with wine. Like, he'll have these wine dinners where they bring in their bottles and go through like stupid amounts of wine. But that's not the way I like to drink it.
And the bottles, like we do that. My friend will host it, and
Yeah.
the deal with these dinners is everybody has to bring 2 bottles
Correct.
that are gonna hurt. You got to bring something from your cellar that's gonna hurt,
That
Yeah.
you're going to miss.
that you're gonna miss.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Really don't wanna
really?
open. You've
I'm
been
opening
saving.
this?
Oh,
Right.
I know,
You know,
absolutely.
but everyone
it's like
there's a-
$10,000 worth of wine.
But everyone there's
easily
a
with
collector.
Correct.
And so we all bring some of our best bottles. I mean, some people are showing up with like Dom Perignon. Some people are showing up with Mouton. Some
They
people
usually
are
have
showing.
themes too.
If there's a theme, yeah, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the best night in the world. In fact, I discovered my favorite Chardonnay at a wine dinner like this.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That was Rocchioli.
that was
Chard.
Rocchioli
Yes,
Chardonnay.
Yes.
Oh wow.
But I can't help but to wonder what your husband was thinking. He must have been so excited that he is on a date with this exciting, beautiful, smart woman who's explaining the definition of Meritage. and wants to go to Opus, one of the most iconic wineries in the New World.
I know.
So
he
score.
was. I know. He's so funny. I was a professional triathlete and a stockbroker at the time that he met.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
And so I couldn't
Score.
I couldn't run far enough away.
Oh, really? You made him kind of do the
And-
chase.
Yeah, but we never bet on the over. Like when we got married, I'm like, I just hope that I want to be married 3 times. Like at the time, this was 25
Were you?
years ago.
Oh my! So you've been married
We've
for?
been married. It'll be 25 years this year.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. And this is your first husband?
Congratulations.
This is my second.
Your second.
My first was a Mormon husband.
Oh, yeah.
So you're
Oh,
Mormon.
I
Are you?
I was raised Mormon.
Okay,
yeah.
you were raised Mormon.
Yeah, and then when I got unleashed, I'm like, well, if I'm gonna go to hell,
I'm going to have fun
I'm gonna have a
going.
doorman.
I love it. Where were you raised? In Utah?
Not
or-
Utah, but I
okay.
do have relatives there.
Right.
Okay. All right. So
Arizona, I was raised in not raised in Arizona. I only lived there till I was 10, and then moved to Carlsbad.
Oh, nice.
San Diego County.
Nice.
And when you turned 18-ish, you wanted to
18ish,
kind of
19ish. Yeah,
go a different direction?
I used to fight my dad a lot. I'm like, how come? We won't go into it. But I'm like, how come they won't let women get up there? Like, how come they want? Like, I was just
Yeah.
so like, how come there's no African Americans? How come there's? I'm like, he's like, well, I'm like, I have zero tolerance for discrimination.
Right.
Zero. And it was like that from being a kid. I had this justice thing. And he couldn't really explain. And I look back now, like I love the fact I'm one of 7 children. My parents were married for 48 years, and the only reason why they were married for 48 years is because my dad passed away. And and that's a whole nother thing of not being able to prevent it.
Right.
that was
but
also that generation. They stayed together
They stayed together.
no matter what.
No matter what. And I mean,
Yes.
my dad just says yes. That's
Oh,
what he said.
oh,
Like, how
okay.
did you do it? He goes, I just agreed with your mom.
That's the thing.
He goes, and when I didn't, I still agreed with her.
When I was a kid, and I mean, I was maybe about 20 or 21, I went to a friend of mine's parents. I want to say it was maybe their 25th or 30th wedding anniversary. And his parents were really cool, right? And so we're staying, myself and a couple of guys are standing at the bar with his dad. And we're like busting his chops a little bit, And my friend says, Tony, 30 years. What's the secret? And he says, here's the secret to staying married for 30 years. Knowing when to apologize, even when you didn't do anything wrong.
Right. And even when you're,
That's what he said.
and even when you're right,
That's what he
you're
said.
not always right.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Knowing when to
And it's not about
apologize,
being
even
right or-
when you didn't do anything.
and I think just like eliminating competition of who's right or who's wrong.
Right.
And you
And-
kind of get over that. Like I got to the point where I'm like, I would just go, okay, you're right,
Yeah.
and he's really wrong. But I'm like, it's just not worth it. And he goes, and then he would think I was
Patronizing
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to spend an hour giving you the information and then have you say sorry for 2 seconds.
Right.
It's not worth it.
Right.
And so I learned. I'm like, okay, you're right. But he gets so mad because he'd want to fight.
That's the key ingredient, I suppose. How did you go from the stock? You said that you were
I was a stockbroker for 10 years in
Stockbroker.
LA. I managed
Wow.
$500 million.
Wow.
my
In my
Goodness.
20s.
in your 20s, and then
In my 20s.
you made a shift to becoming a medium.
No, I got out at the top of the market.
Right.
Not because of
Luck.
that, but because I just wanted to go play more. And that's what I did for, until I got married and had 2 kids. And then I'm like, before you turn 40, which was like last year, but before you turn 40, like there's something about, you feel like there's a pull if something's missing.
Sure.
And I've always been able to see this, but I didn't understand. I didn't have the language for it. When I was young, I would want glasses. I was the only child that had 20/20 vision in my whole family, and I'm the one that saw things everywhere that wanted, glasses. There's just, I don't know. It's very interesting to have, to go from being a stockbroker. I didn't wake up one day saying, I want to be a medium.
Right.
That was not, they're like, my friends were like, oh, babe, are you doing drugs? Is that why you see dead people?
So
Yeah.
they weren't believing you.
Well, they did. Actually, they did. They're the ones that were calling me psychic, and I didn't even know the terminology. It just gave me the ibby-jibbies.
Right.
Like, even then, I was like, ooh, that just drives me crazy. I call myself an intuitive.
Okay.
Everyone has this innate intelligence.
Yeah.
And this is the misconception. The difference of why I have it at a certain degree, based upon my brain scans, was because I had seizures as a little kid at 3.5
Interesting.
months old, which they gave me belladonna, which is a hallucinogenic and a poison. So there's this British doctor that was on staff, and I was 3.5 months old. My poor mother would take me in there, and half the time I was already done with my laryngitis seizure, and they're like, "There's nothing wrong with her." And then she finally got me in there where I was black and blue, and this doctor that was visiting from England said, "I've seen this before. I was the 8th documented case for this laryngitis seizure," and he's like, "Belladonna will work. It'll calm." So my brain got fried, and then they would calm it down with belladonna, which is, I used to like hallucinogenics back then. I mean,
Right.
that's just.
Well, you started obviously
Hallucinogenics
from
are
a very
great.
early age.
So they believe that.
Wow.
My point is, they believe that was the gateway.
That was the gateway.
And so when I said about 40, like I something was just missing, and I just needed to figure this out. I never intended to do this for work, ever. But I needed to understand it so I wouldn't go crazy. And that's just kind of how it. And then it started with working on cases. It wasn't like, it started out differently than most.
Right.
Now, did you proactively work on those cases, which then segued into working officially for the FBI or?
So I had a lot of law enforcement comes to me for their own personal stuff. And then that's how it got segued in. And then I got brought into the dark web division. And then I got brought into a lot of different various law enforcement teams, the
Right.
Secret Service.
Okay. Fascinating.
Yeah.
What would you say is your, I hate to use this term, but your area of specialty regarding your
My passion is helping men and women understand their own intuition. All I do is, everybody's connected, but they don't know it.
right.
All I do is connect them. I take their awareness and I connect them to it. And so my specialty is probably I find things. I find missing people. I find, when my FBI agents call me, they're just like, okay, we're going to go do a bust the next day.
Right.
And I tell them what to avoid fentanyl-wise.
Right.
What to avoid, what they can go into, what to, look out for. Like, for instance, one of them, I said, look out for bulldogs. And they're like, Jennifer, we've been doing surveillance at this house for 1.5 years, and there's no bulldogs. And I'm like, okay, you know how this works. It could be a name. It could be a title. It could be something. I'm like, but it's so important that I've been getting it several times that you need to do something about it. And sure enough, they went exactly the way I told them to go, what to avoid, what to go into. They went upstairs, and there was a bedspread that had 2 French Bulldogs on it.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
It was the bedspread.
I thought it was going to be the college team. Like, I thought there was going to be a poster with the Bulldogs
It
on.
could have been the college team, but it was a bedspread.
Right.
And so they called in, they looked up, and they knew, and all the stuff was upstairs. It was all
Right.
above the bedspread. So all the fentanyl stuff was up there. So they called the
Wow.
hazmat team. Yeah.
Wow.
So the bulldog was the leading factor
Yes, it was the
that
leading
made
factor.
them
They
solve.
knew.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
And so there's little things like that all the time that I've been able to do. I never solve cases, and that's another thing. I help assist, because it's that one thing or that one
Right.
validation that helps them.
But it's not like in the movies where you say, it's going to be a man with a red shirt and gray hair, and he's going to be hiding in a barrel that says barrel.
Like Medium, the show.
Right.
Alison Dubois is a great medium.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. She really set the bar.
I was talking about the TV show with Patricia Arquette, Medium.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That one.
It was
Yeah.
something I was obsessed with. Like,
Yeah.
and you can, it's, I started dealing with law enforcement first. Then I'm like, if I can deal with FBI agents, I can have my own practice.
Yes.
And I feel like it helps people.
Sure,
and so
it
eventually
does.
my husband's like, if you're going to take time away from the kids, you need to make it a business.
Right.
I'm like, why?
Now, Alison Dubois, was that show based on Alison Dubois? Like, is she
Yes.
the I see?
Oh,
okay.
gotcha.
All right, I'm
Yes.
putting it
I'm
together.
sorry.
Nope, it's,
Yes.
even though I didn't spit, it just sort of
See,
there's
if you were a
remnants
me-
of Chardonnay
see, baby, if you were a medium, you would have known
going
that.
Yes. So, okay. So she was like the ultimate medium, or maybe one of the first
One of the
to
first
set the
that
bar.
yeah, I mean, there's
Most
I mean,
famous,
God bless
rather.
her, Sylvia Brown.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Sylvia Brown.
Sylvia Brown.
I used to love to watch Sylvia Brown on
Everyone
TV.
did on Montel.
Honey, let me tell you something. Montel, listen.
You know,
Did you ever see this
No,
one?
and was she smoking cigarettes? My God, who is this?
She really
man or
she
woman?
just-
That was
She
Sylvia.
made-
She's like a big woman. She always wore like a muumuu and
she just had
big
but
jewelry.
she wrote a lot of she had
Yeah.
a lot of books and
Okay.
she was just so there was a lot of a lot of them paved the way. It's not easy because it's easier now because people get it more. Like they're not afraid of it. Before they were afraid of it. And someone asked me like, what do you do with people that don't believe? I'm like, I don't really have anybody that doesn't. It doesn't mean they have to believe in what I say.
Right.
It's interpretation. I'm the first one. It makes you more vulnerable. It doesn't make you like, oh, I can do this. It makes you like, oh, I think it's this. This is what I'm getting.
Do you ever get fearful? Is it ever something where you don't welcome whomever is trying to communicate with you?
I'll tell you a story real fast.
And you can take your time. I love this
somebody was
stuff.
trying to.
I live for it.
Somebody was trying to so all my pro bono work deals with law enforcement and
Okay.
families that have I donate a lot and everybody does and I do it. I call it my tithing. So people can, if they have a case, they can come to my assistant and tell them, and then it comes through me and we book an appointment or whatever. This guy was pretty adamant, but the one thing that I never go out and offer information on any case. I've never have my whole life.
Right.
Okay.
Just because one of the biggest things that comes back from law enforcement, I'm like, what is it that you don't like? And they're like, Jennifer, there's 1,000 people that don't have what you have, that say that, oh, the body's over there. And the time that we have to spend to clear out that stuff is just, and so I've just have never had to do that. They've always found me. I think that's just kind of how it works. I have a team because then it was a huge burden where I was looking at something and this was like, life or death. The kid, if the kid goes missing 24 hours, or
Right.
like it helped having more eyes on the unseen. And so I'm able to teach this to anyone. It's actually very easy to get certain information. It's not the guy with the glasses. You can't put it together, but you can say, I'm seeing a gate. There's a marker. And that's really important. Or the French Bulldogs.
Right.
That's really important. Or walking.
Sure.
Walking was important on the case, and it was actually the street that someone died on. But I'm like, walking is deadly. That's what came to me, but it wasn't walking itself. So its interpretation is very, very different. But this guy was adamant. He's like, well, it's about these two girls that I know. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This does not feel right. And this was like 10 years ago, but I'll never forget it because it was there's been 2 cases where I've had this. And I believe he killed them and he wanted to see if I knew.
Ooh.
Talk about a mind.
Right.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
That's narcissistic, by the way.
That's also a
That's a guy who, by the way, that's a guy who's gonna get caught.
It is very, and I had those bone chilling,
Yes.
chills that went throughout my body because I wasn't prepared for that. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. My assistant was just like, this doesn't feel right. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see. But when I started talking to him, and they have to have, I'm so sorry. They have to have a connection to the person that they're looking into. You can't have some random joke say,
Right.
I want you to look into this. You have to be the mom or the dad or the friend or police.
Right.
Or give me the detectives or investigators.
killer.
whatever, or the killer in this case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I could tell that he wanted to see if I knew where he hid the bodies,
Right.
or what that was, and it was that I didn't sleep.
Well, he was trying to figure out if he needed to kill you too.
It was a very,
sure.
very,
I mean, no.
I watch
that
a
would
lot of
be
true
very-
crime.
it
I know
would
how
be-
this works.
I would be really very
Yeah.
There's been
taken
I've
aback
had,
and
I've had a few things like that. The other one was when I had a whole family come into my office. There was 5, and they were all in their like 20s and 30s, five kids, I guess I could say, with a guy that had a gun outside the door and a guy downstairs. And I had no idea who I was dealing with. Well, it was one of the largest Mexican mafia families in LA.
Sure.
And there was 2 sisters that were at war. And that was another, and they're like, we want to know what happened to our mother. And so for an hour, I talked to them, and everything, you know, I won't go into the story, but
Your sister killed him.
Somebody was a loose end on her side of the family that put up their mom to get ransacked when she went to Mexico.
Goodness.
And all the things that I received, was identical to what was the path. But it was just when they left, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I need different procedures.
Have you ever had security or do you have, I don't know, are you protected?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I would.
Yes.
I
There
would
was
be.
one time that I was not protected, and that was, I had an email that was sent to me saying that I know that you know who killed this person. And of course, the FBI came in, and they, you know, and they couldn't track it. But it was that gave, my husband was like, I think it's time for you to take a break.
How does he feel about this? Are you
So-
still doing it?
What does he do?
Oh, yeah.
What's
Oh,
his
yeah, I
job?
get called into the biggest cases. I don't even watch the news
Right.
because I get called into so many different cases that end up being on the news. And then whatever's on the news will interfere with what I get, what I receive. Like,
So
I couldn't
you-
look
it's
you
better
guys up.
it's
Like,
better
I
not-
can't know.
Right, so
the
it's
things.
better not to watch the news.
I
Then
can't
you get a
watch the news.
clean read.
Correct. Like,
Yeah.
anytime I know information, it fucks everything up.
Yeah,
It sucks.
So when you said we have a black cat, you did not look up that we have a black cat.
No.
That came to you.
No, it did not. I told
Oh.
you the conscious information that I knew.
Oh.
I had a black cat. I didn't know you had a black cat. I didn't know you had a black cat. But I knew that there
I
was
don't know if
something
he's
about
black or
cats.
dark
There
brown.
was something about cats.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was so that's the only thing that I've seen with the, and that you two are married, and that, what was it? And comedians.
Right.
But I'm like, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to like start
Oh, that's
watching things because I couldn't, because I
fascinating.
didn't want to. It just ruins everything if I have any information. People don't understand that. They think that we have time to like go into that, but it's not a thing. We get our information elsewhere, and it hinders everything.
Yes.
Well, is it really ADHD that you have, or do you just have these, charlatans just, walking into your space, your personal space of spirits that are
latter. Well, it's a
interrupting
combination
your,
of both.
Well, so I have I now, through years of work, I work every day. And whether I commune at the beach, I go to the beach every day. I'm very fortunate. I live right by the ocean, and I'm able to
Very
commune
nice.
with the water. The water's so healing, but now I have a
Right.
different appreciation for it. Like when I go down to the water, I ask, "Can I enter?" And I will get something every single time that is so fascinating that I'm not thinking. Like today, it was handed over because of some things that were happening with the case. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it was
So-
just felt like it was gone. Like it's so healing, whether it's a tree or the ocean.
earth,
or
something.
Well, it's very
Natural
grounding. It pulls you, it
elements.
takes your cord
Yeah.
and it reconnects you to another living organism,
Right.
being Mother Earth.
Right. My daughter calls me a ghost on a leash. So there's that.
Right.
I'm going to have t-shirts made.
No, that's good merch.
It's
Now,
also a great name for a book, Ghost on a Leash.
Ghost on a Leash.
It's a great
kind of like control
title.
it so
Yeah.
they don't interrupt your zone and
well,
pace.
So you hear this all the time. Everything's from within.
Right.
Right? It truly is. When I get my information, so I worked on a case in Paris where this girl went missing from a very well-known family that somebody that ended up, contacting me. And I was actually going
That was just a movie with Liam Neeson. She was at the craft service table. I could solve that one like easy.
probably. But when I was getting the information with this person, all of a sudden, if you, some people know what Minecraft is. You guys, okay. So that's what it feels like. I go into this like digital world, and all of a sudden I'll start feeling things. I'll see things, but it's all from within. And I'm like, oh, I feel cold. I feel like there's a blanket over me. And the woman that I was talking to, she's like, what? I'm like, no, not that way. This way, like over me, you know? And I'm like, I feel cold. I feel like an hour and a half out from, you know, from Paris. I'm going up to the mountains, but something happened. There's something about trains, which means it can mean a couple of things. It can mean train tracks, drugs, or it can mean an actual train. But I'm like, she had a psychotic break. Like when people have psychotic breaks, they leave their body.
Right.
They feel like they're on the other side. And this is a lot. This is where doing this for a long time, you know, if I knew way more 10 years ago than I do now, but I would have said, oh, I think that they passed or they crossed over, because that's what it feels like when someone has a psychotic break or they have dementia. People that have dementia are having the time of their lives over there.
I hope so.
They're
I
having
really hope
so much fun. It's there. I mean, I've had a family. I'm like, she's with her first boyfriend, and they're like, she's still married to my dad. I'm like, whoa, she's
Not
with
in
her
her
first
mind.
boyfriend. And I said the name. I'm like, she's hanging out with her
Not in her
boyfriend that
mind.
died in the military. And
Right.
they're like,
Wow.
what?
Wow.
And they knew exactly what I was talking about. But that comes across like all the time. I feel sorry for their caregivers.
Right. But
You know,
they're
it's really
over
hard
there
on the
dancing by the
caregivers.
fire.
Right.
And over here, they're getting bill collectors and doctor. But over
It's just
there,
so vicious.
you know.
It's so vicious. And I've spoken to doctors about this. I was on the board for the chapter here for Alzheimer's in LA for a little while.
That's
and
commendable.
I told them, I said, listen, we need to figure this out because they live a lot longer. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, have you ever correlated it to the fact that they're not constantly feeding their minds and their bodies? You have cancer, you have this, you have that. They're so disconnected that they always feel like they're over on the other side.
Right.
So their bodies last. I'm
Right.
like, we need to do that when we have our cognitive minds,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of power positive thinking in a way,
Correct.
because you're not filling your mind with negative thoughts or negative energy, which a lot of people don't understand manifests itself physically.
It is there's, how would I want to say this? Hold on a second. You are right. Thoughts are so important that if everyone knew how powerful their thoughts were, they would be so careful.
Yeah.
And if you just think about it, and we always hear this too, anything I say on this show has been said before, but I want people to
secret
get it.
vibes.
I want
Right.
people to get it. If you say something, you say stuff to your body all day long, your body remembers it, you don't. And it'll manifest in certain ways. But nobody's their cancer, nobody's this, like that's not right either. So, but you have to understand when you take it to a different route, where if you're thinking thoughts that are mean to somebody else, it's a mirror. It's going to
Absolutely.
right back to you. And
Yeah.
people don't understand that. There is an electromagnetic field that we all have. So every thought that this is what helped, I think, some of my clients. I'm like, every thought that you generate out there. So if you look at somebody and because you have body dysmorphia, you're like, oh my gosh, they're big or they're whatever. I'm like, that gets sent out to all the people that are unhappy about their body. It's not just you, and gets put back to you.
Right.
It literally
Well,
is.
that's a metaphysical concept, you know, what you put out to the universe comes back to you.
Right.
So, and it's, I believe in metaphysics and I practice metaphysics, and what you generate, and your mind is so powerful.
People don't understand that.
It is so
crazy.
powerful
Yeah.
that you can create in your own mind a horror story that will then engulf your life. It will manifest itself physically because you manifested it cerebrally.
And 50% of our thought or memories, for instance, are not even accurate.
I would imagine not.
They're fucking
know,
made. Sorry
We
about that word.
create.
No,
They're
you're allowed to.
ma-
You're allowed to say
We
fuck.
create.
They're made up.
Sure.
We make them up. Because it goes back to interpretation.
Selective perception is what we're doing. Is we're creating something that we can live with, as opposed to what the actual truth of that specific
Right.
matter is.
Right. Like, so when I was being raised Mormon, I thought it was all connected to God and then I had to leave it, that kind of thing. God becomes something that's horrible, Jesus, whatever. It was never intended to be that way. And then you're like, oh, God is love. Like, you can do that. You're like, oh, I get it now. It's not even a word. It's not even, it's an energy.
Right.
That
Universe.
the universe. And don't get caught up with what that means. That's, if we didn't have names or tagging or whatever it is, I think the world would be so much better.
Now, I classify
yeah.
all that as
Religion.
the non-tangibles. You know,
Yes.
you can't touch it, but it doesn't mean it isn't real.
Well, we can say that with germs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes.
germs you can touch. You can literally put a germ under a microscope, and
Right.
with it, you can literally touch a germ.
Have you ever seen a spirit? Or is it
All the
just
time. That's the
okay? So
only
you
reason-
actually see them as well.
I see them.
As an apparition?
Oh, full blown
Sure.
apparition.
No, I believe-
I have to sleep with the lights that children sleep with that project out because then I don't feel everything down. So I had
Right.
7 hours worth of clients yesterday. And I've trained myself as an Olympic athlete to get in and get out. And then I take a day off, kind of, and then I work it. I try to do 3 days in my office. I try.
Right.
That being said, it takes me a lot longer to go to sleep at night. So everybody's like, don't you get exhausted? I'm like, it's the opposite. I asked to have the energy. Like, I'm like, can you please make sure I have enough energy for every single person? And, you know, the first person is the daughter committed suicide. The second person, their mom, you know, they don't know how their mom died.
Right.
The third was an investigation that dealt with the mafia. And then the fourth, like, so
All in one day,
that's just, yeah.
in 1 hour. Sounds
It's just boom, boom, boom. But it has taught me how to get in and get out. But at nighttime, going back to spirits, on the days that I'm working, I can look through my window and see full apparitions come. The second I see them, they will come in. I'm like, okay, this is how powerful our minds are. They don't leave. We live with a whole universe within us.
Of course.
That's not, whatever's out there isn't what's in here. That's a whole nother thing. But there is a field out there that we're all connected to and we're all tethered to. And I just say, okay, I just need to go to sleep. And that's usually the last thing that I remember. I just have to say, okay, you guys, I need to go to sleep.
and then you're just
And
able
then
to
I'm
go to
out.
sleep.
Yeah, I see things all day long moving around. Yeah, it's one of those, like the first time that I'm like, honey, I got to tell you something. And he goes, yeah. I'm like, you do know I see dead people. And he's like, I'm like, I can't even see my hand at night when I put it up. There's so much that's there, which I believe is plasma. There's a lot of things that are there. And he said, well, if there's a hot chick up there and it's not cheating.
He's right.
I'm like, what? And he goes, what am I supposed to say, Jen? I don't see anything. And he just went back to
He's
bed.
just so used to this.
He's just like,
You met the
okay.
perfect. You had the
I
perfect
did.
partner.
He finally understood it this year with Dan Brown's book, Secret of Secrets.
Okay,
Right.
we were just
Because
talking about that.
I had seizures as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's one of the main characters, right, of the book. And it's a great audiobook. And he's like, wow, consciousness. Like he's so smart, but so dumb. Just wanna kill him. He has supported me my whole life, is giving me, I wouldn't be able to do what I do freely if it wasn't for him.
Right.
Because
Wonderful partnership.
I didn't have to do it.
That's great.
And so, and now, like we have FBI agents at our house all the time, you know, like, but he still didn't get it. He's like, well, I don't have my own epiphany. I'm like, you fucking married it. Like,
Now, do they come to you in your dreams as well? Like, when do you have peace?
at the beach.
Okay, so
But
at
even
the
then,
water.
it's a free for all. It's just, I have peace. I've mandated peace. Like when I meditate, no one's allowed in.
okay.
All my guides keep it
It's your
separate.
important.
It's so
time.
important. I meditate. I call it dream making, being delusional about
Right.
your future now.
That's
Be
fun.
Be delusional about it. Like, so every day I'm like, how is my future self from 3 years from now doing? Like, what would she think of me now? And I got a pat on the back. Like, you have no idea what it's going to be like. And I just believe it. It's one of those things that I'm just like, that's fucking awesome.
I do that too. And I think because I wonder, what would young me say about me now?
Right.
And there's nothing I could really, do about that. But I think it's more important to think, well, what would older me looking down at me? Yes. Say, because that you have more control over that.
Absolutely. And I look at it too, like I was laughing. I'm like, I look at my younger self. I'm like, oh my God, you're so exhausting. You were fucking exhausting. You were running. You were doing everything you could to escape things. You were just like, you exhausted the universe.
Yeah,
God,
it's like amazing everything that you have achieved and have done. And, you are not even close to being, this is just like your mid chapter. That's my feeling anyway.
I believe it is too.
I also saw your birthday post on your Instagram, so I did know a little bit about, how you felt about where you are with your life today.
It was actually very, and I get a little choked up about it, like just the love. I didn't expect, you don't expect it. And I'm a big birthday person. I have birthday dates every day.
Wonderful.
And it was just a very interesting, just a reflection of, there's just certain people that come into your life too that just come in there, cause a lot of chaos, and then leave, or they're still there, but you're like, what just happened? And one of my friends was like, you need to meditate. You don't feel love. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
I was so angry at her.
Yeah.
But then it broke me down a little bit. I'm like, because that was the conundrum that I was in. I felt like if I did not hold things away, because I was working on some of them, no one could spend 5 minutes in my head when I work on cases or with what I deal with.
It's funny you say it like that.
And so I had to keep it a certain way because I was so afraid if I was allowed to feel vulnerable that things would start, then I'd feel everything. That was a misconception in my brain. Once I started being more vulnerable, the whole world just opened up even better. Like everything started speeding up. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's interesting you say it that way. I'm going to say something right now that in all the time I've known you, I've never said. Okay?
Okay.
So I can hear people think.
I believe that totally.
It's not every...
She used to see things when she was little.
It's not everyone, and it's not all the time.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps.
But there are times where I am aligned with someone's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can literally hear what they are, like I hear their inner monologue. Like I was walking out of a restaurant in New York City once with a friend of mine, and we walked out of the restaurant. We were just standing there for a second because it was raining. And I looked over at my friend. I go, I know, I got to go to the market also and do some shopping. And he goes, God damn, I hate when you do that. Can you just please stay out of my head? And back in my 20s, I was friends with a woman named Anne Grinstein, and Anne had 3 master's degrees, ridiculously bright woman, but she was also clairvoyant. And I was talking to her once, and I said something to her, and she goes, my God, I would hate to be inside your head. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, I have 3 master's degrees. And I'm clairvoyant, and my brain is always moving, but yours
is on a different level.
Yours is moving at a speed I can't comprehend, and it never slows down.
You have more of a futuristic guide. You have more of the future.
I believe that. I don't see dead people. But I can hear what's going on in someone's soul sometimes.
So when you finally realize that I call this normal. This is our new normal.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people either are for it or there's no wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. However you are, you are. I'm like, you don't have to believe in this.
Right.
It's something that will, with your brain, hold on a second. That's interesting. How much time do we have?
No,
about 5-8 minutes.
Okay. Go back to your childhood.
10, really.
10.
Okay, so go back to your childhood.
Okay.
Because so things that you were interested in. For instance, I thought about death growing up. But because I was Mormon, it kept me from doing anything. But I thought, and I had no reason to think about suicide, but I thought about suicide all the time. There was no death school for me later. Like when you are growing up and you're like interested in like being on stage or doing, like you get coaches like soccer or ballet, like you have teachers for that. There's no teacher for this. There wasn't before.
Right.
I had an experience when I was young where I felt like I was connected to a different physical realm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said to my father, I said to him, do you think or do you believe that there is another dimension or place of physical existence that we're not privy to, but exists with a coexisting life for other living, functioning beings? And I'm going to quote him now. My father looked at me and he goes, where the fuck do you come up with these crazy, stupid fucking ideas all the time?
And that shut you down.
No, it
No?
didn't shut me down. No.
No?
No, I always felt bad for him because
I
he
love that. Okay.
didn't have.
I didn't look into it.
No,
Like,
he didn't allow himself
right.
the beautiful freedom
I know.
of being able to entertain the idea that there might be something unexplainable that will require some introspection, you know, and a learning curve and all the things that come with something that requires a new level of understanding.
It makes you more compassionate.
I believe that.
It just
I believe
does.
that.
To see what, like, I have such extremes that my daughter knows, and I'm so grateful. She's like, did you take my toenail clippings or something to make me come back from college?
That's very funny.
You. She's working for Impulse. She is an aerospace engineer.
Goodness.
Wow.
And if I could be a professional luncher, that would be me. And so I'm like, I'll promise you lunches, whatever you want. But she ended up working 2 miles away from our home.
Love it.
But she,
Oh,
because of
great.
my extremes, dealing with human trafficking, dealing with finding these girls all over the world that have been missing or have been taken. In college, she would send me a picture of what she was wearing because that's the last thing they ask is what were they wearing.
Right.
And she would do it, and I'm like, "Can you put on more clothes?"
At least underwear.
And then she would text me, and then she would text me when she got home because
Right.
she knew I was crazy because I had this the feeling of trying to make sure no one dies around me is enormous,
Oh, yeah.
and it's not something I have any control over,
Right.
You know, but there's a lot of indications of who you become later, just from your childhood.
Oh, yeah. I believe that.
And the reasons why you being Mormon was perfect because I either had to dive in or get out, and it helped me. Like it was such a strict cut, the depression that comes with that of not following, you know. And I love my dad so much, and he was a bishop before he passed away, but I told him his right arm hurt, and he's like, my right arm is fine. And it was the first time he asked me, he's like, so what's going on with me then? And I told him that, and he said that. I went upstairs and I screamed, I'm like, you guys gave me that? It was my father. A month later, we were doing a show on Dr. Phil for one of my cases, and my parents were there to come with me, and my dad went running that morning, and his defibrillator went off.
I was about to say, it's got to be a heart thing.
He had a heart attack.
It's got to be a heart
In
thing.
Manhattan Beach. And so when I went to the hospital, he goes, Jennifer, I knew what you were saying, but I didn't want to believe it. And it was just because he had a mesh stent that the skin grew through. It wasn't because of anything else. And so, but that changed his whole being,
Right.
you know, about this. And I don't know if I'd be the same if I didn't have that assurance from him, because I just loved my dad so much. But
Well, you carry a strength with you that, you know, he gave to you as an unwitting gift,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Did your daughters inherit any of of these talents of?
So my daughter, she's trained to be an FBI agent since she was 6. She knew what it would take because of all the agents that were in my house. No drugs, no blah, blah, like anything. Like one of my agents almost didn't make it because she took a prescription Tylenol from a nurse when she broke her toe in Vegas, and she almost didn't make the team. She almost didn't make it because they were just like
Your other.
one of my FBI agents.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
my daughter's heard all these stories. Well, now because of the work that she does, she has to have a higher clearance than my FBI agents.
Wow.
What does she
As
do,
an
man?
aerospace
She's an aerospace engineer, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she has to have. So she's like, I'm so glad I lived my life like that. But she has been reading books. She's been obsessed with airplanes and 1942, like all of these, like that era of women that dealt with planes. Like that was her thing.
Right.
So, but yes, back to your
So
question.
she's an Amelia
has
Earhart
it,
fan,
but
I'm
she
guessing.
also has
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I would think that, having 2 daughters in that environment.
I
And,
have a daughter and a son. Sorry.
but
they're
a
both
daughter
boy
and a
names.
son. Oh,
They're
okay.
both Blake
Oh.
and Jack.
Oh,
My son Jack goes
Cute.
to Berkeley,
I
who
love
I
it.
love very much.
Mhm.
Smokes weed, shocker. Okay.
Well, I was going to say, because
Everyone
where
smokes
do the
weed.
psychedelics come into play? Because I want to talk about psychedelics before we wrap, because that's another just very fascinating detail about you.
Well, I think that everyone should do a little bit. I think that it just does something to your brain. I think that there's some people that shouldn't do it because they'll have they need to be, it needs to be kind of, they shouldn't just go do it at a concert.
No, you should be in a safe
You should be
environment.
in a safe environment.
Absolutely.
But I know ketamine, for instance, when it's prescribed to you, helps so much. I know that MDMA has saved marriages, including my own. I know that,
100%.
Like all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, you can tell me? Like my husband all of a sudden started opening up. If I could douse him with MDMA every day, I would. That's just not a thing.
Psilocybin is one of those things that
Microdosing.
microdosing
so
is great.
Much better.
And I do truly believe that every single person should take at least one LSD trip. I believe that. I do.
I never have.
I think so. But you've done other things.
I did a little bit of a
Little
chocolate
bit
bar.
of a chocolate mushroom when we went to the we went to see the Grateful Dead.
But no, it's something I am very interested in people,
I
and
mean-
not just. I mean, it is. I don't know if it's trendy or people are just
So I've
more
been doing this
open
for
to
years. It is something that, because they've done brain scans on me, they have seen like, okay, with Chardonnay, without Chardonnay. When I started dream making and doing psychedelics,
Right.
all of a sudden, like, even when people are texting me in the middle of the night, I have my phone off or whatever, they're texting me in the middle of the night or they're commenting on something, they'll end up in my dream state. And that only started happening when I started meditating.
Wow.
So I will get someone in my dream state, when you asked that question before, it shows that I have insomnia at night and that I'm in the delta state all day at work. So the delta state is the dreamless state.
Right.
They're like, how could you be awake and doing this? And that's why I don't remember the things that I say when I'm usually reading people. It's
Right.
a common thing. But it also helped. I have no sign of brain trauma when they're like, how could you not have that? I had a bicycling accident when I was a triathlete. I had, as a kid, they're like, there's no sign of it. What if meditation does heal yourself? And if I'm in the delta state the whole time and it healed my brain, how that could do that for so many other people. We're all connected. So if you're healing yourself, you're healing other people.
So
too.
when you sleep, because I'm asking this question because I have this, do you sleep in REM or do you sleep in alpha? Because I mostly sleep in alpha.
Yeah.
It's rare
It
that
looks
I
like
can get.
It looks like I have insomnia.
Right. That's how, so the alpha state is where
But
you
I feel like
are
I'm sleeping.
before you get to REM. REM is that deep where you go in 6
I
seconds.
go to
you go
deep.
you go
I have no
into
problem. I'm so
REM
exhausted
and you sleep in
at the end
REM.
of the
I
day.
don't.
I wear myself out as much as I can.
I sleep in
too.
alpha,
That's the
and
best.
it's unfortunate, but she'll tell you I wake up at least 2 to 3 times a night And it's usually my brain that will wake me, and then I will pace the house for a little while, and I might have to smoke a little weed or something to help me fall asleep.
Dreams?
I used to keep a dream journal. I
too.
don't anymore, but I used to, and I still have them.
There's times where I'll wake myself up and I'll make sure that I write it down in
Right.
case something comes with it later.
I used to keep a dream
That happens.
journal.
So when I work on cases, especially when it's missing person cases, I don't sleep well at all.
Right.
I would
Because I get
imagine.
information in my sleep.
But you're also probably,
Oh, my goodness.
because you are clairvoyant, you're probably also an empath. So you're probably dealing with all of that shit that you've picked up during the day in your work
I'm-
that is still sitting in the forefront.
Yeah, I try to get it cleaned out. I have a process to do that, and if my mind thinks so, then it is.
My process is counting backwards from 100. That's how I clean it out.
It's perfect.
I count backwards from 100, and I try to get as far down as I can, so that I try to go as far down as I can, where I'll begin to start feeling a detachment from the thought process.
So just ask them to leave you alone.
And
Just transfer
so I
the
do
thoughts.
sometimes. Sometimes I'll say, like,
Instead
out of my head,
thinking- yeah,
out of my
just-
head. This is what I go through at night when we get in bed to go to sleep. Seriously.
Well, I knew that you were tormented.
You know I'm tormented.
But what are you talking about? Voices?
Nope, it's not voices. That's the thing. It's not
I'm
voices.
like, you're finding out now that he reads your thoughts.
No, it's
Wait,
not voices. It's
you
whatever
did tell
you
me
pick up.
before that you can
I
read
did
people's
that. I can read
thoughts.
people's thoughts.
Which
It's
I'm
what
like,
you pick up.
shit.
It's kind of just what sticks to you during the day.
Okay.
You know.
The greatest gift that I've taught my daughter is to make my husband feel like it's his own idea. So we will
Every man, make every man
We
feel
do.
like he got the ketchup
We
bottle
do.
open
So
and that it was his idea.
It's like, what do you guys feel like for dinner? And we've already talked about it. We just think it. And he's like, hey, do you feel like this? And we just laugh. Like it goes for everything.
You know, it's funny when you say think it. Sarah knows Gabe Abelson. I'm going to give this gentleman a shout out. My friend Gabe Abelson, who was a writer for 11 years. He wrote David Letterman's monologue on the TV show. Gabe is a well-accomplished stand-up comedian and writer. And Gabe is a very dear friend. And over the last, I'd say 6 or 7 years, he's been practicing mentalism. And so Gabe will come to my house with 2 sets of 5 cards, and each card has a shape on it.
Okay.
And we will do these exercises together
awesome.
sometimes where, like, we'll each take our set of cards, they're identical, and we will line them up. And we'll put each shape, it's a star, a squiggle, 3 squiggle lines, a circle, a square, and a triangle, you know.
Yeah.
And we will set our cards up, and then we'll set them down.
And it
And then,
matches.
and we'll kibitz for a few minutes, whatever, and then we'll roll.
Yeah.
And the cards, every time we do this,
they end up the same.
the cards match.
Yeah.
Every time. We do these other, and he has literally said, like, freaking,
Yeah.
I
Mind reader.
don't know what I am. I don't know, but
You're an
everybody,
intuitive.
but everybody has this. She has this.
Oh, I know
she doesn't know she has
She
it.
blocked it at
But
16.
she'll shout stuff out from the other room all of a sudden without knowing she knows, and it's
correct.
what's
You blocked it
and
at
it's what's
16.
going
Got a
on.
little scary.
Seriously, Sarah's
Oh my
very,
gosh,
very.
in my room because our house
Yeah.
was haunted.
Yeah, but you are
My
ser-
room
The
was
back room.
haunted.
Is it back room on the
Yes,
on the-
isn't
Yeah.
it the attic?
Yeah.
But you're seriously intuitive. But you are
Oh my gosh,
seriously
look at my
intuitive.
arms.
I know, but what a beautiful way to
Oh, yes. I think
reawaken
we
this
had a,
again.
She did it at 21, and then she blocked it at 28 again. There was something with 28. Too.
Yeah, I had.
it
Oh,
could have
the
family.
years or my age.
How old were you when you
28.
married?
I
How old
had-
were you get married for the first
I had,
time?
I had some situations.
How old were you? What
You
happened
were
at
right. You
28?
tried so hard to convince yourself you weren't.
Ooh, wow.
But
Then
you,
someone came. I don't know if it was your mom. Someone came in and said, "Oh no, this isn't happening."
Yeah, she was always the
Yeah,
the,
the rock.
Yes,
Pragmatic.
Absolutely.
I don't know, but that's what it
Yes,
feels like. That's
yes.
amazing.
but you do have
was-
tremendous intuition, like
Um,
tremendous. You'll say things from the other room sometimes, and I'm like, how do you know what's going on out here?
And I think I get that from my mom as
Maybe.
well. I would admit that's why I was curious if you were if your children, if this was passed down to your kids.
It's passed down, but they have a different way of dealing with it.
Sure.
I hate to do this.
Well,
I know, we have to
but
go.
before we do, I just want to talk about the wine and spirits of it all because, you know, you obviously have a great palate and it's a passion. And in what capacity are you involved with wine and spirits?
So it was a pun on words. Wine and then people's spirits.
Gotcha.
Ah,
That's why they call them spirits, by the way.
Okay.
And so people end up seeing spirits after they drink a lot.
I love it.
But so
of course.
I was dealing with such heaviness that I didn't understand how to navigate early on. And so 10 years ago, I started my girlfriend. She's like, why don't you work at my wine? Why don't we do like a wine and spirits? I'm like, you know what? It was the most uncomfortable thing for me. It was easier to talk to all my FBI agents than it was to be in public and doing this. And just started doing it with wine and spirits because I loved wine during business hours.
Right.
And I'm
Yes.
like, Mondays, nobody has anything going on Monday, but I did, because of the U.S. soccer game, I made sure I changed it.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. Yes.
But it just made everybody love it. And so that's what I do it twice a month because it also gives people that can't come to my office, it gives them, I read 35 people in one night.
We should come sometime.
I would love to.
We should go sometime
You'll be my
because you know I
guest.
love anything that you can't touch. Anything you can't touch, I'm all about.
Yeah, he liked me more when he couldn't have me. So, when is your next event? Because I saw on your website that you have these events. And would you like to promote it, or is it sold out? Something you don't want to mention?
I haven't even checked, but
Okay.
get put on a wait list. But if you guys want to come
Go-
down, it's at Uncorked in Manhattan Beach.
We know where that is.
We love Uncorked.
Oh,
Yes.
Sure.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
and
just met
so-
the owner. Right?
Yeah, we know the
What's
owner.
Kathy Knoll or who did you meet?
No, what's his
her
face? Who
husband.
also owns what's it called? The deck, the poop
Yes.
deck. What used to
Yeah.
be the poop
Both
deck.
of them do.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We
They're
met.
great.
We
They
met.
Yeah,
are
he's a
amazing.
nice guy.
I have been at their place for 10 years, doing it twice a month.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's a
love
really
this.
nice guy.
And it's
Oh,
just
we're-
one of
we're
those things that
totally
people are
there.
like, how did you know this? And so what I do is so it's not fearful. I don't just sit up there. My friends that are medium friends are like, how do you not just talk to dead people? I'm like, because not everybody wants to talk to dead people.
And by the way, even if you can see them, they don't always want to talk to you.
Well, I could be looking at that's a whole different thing. So what I do is everybody has to write their first name and their last initial. I draw their name over a hat or out of a wine bucket, and then they can ask a question about their life, about their health. People come to me from all over the world just for health
Right.
because I do body scans. That sounds creepy.
No,
and
everyone
then-
should do a body
and then-
scan.
Everyone should. And then, or they they have to tell me a name. I work with names. And so if they give me a first name and the association to you. So, hey, I want to talk to my dad, Jim. I'm like, okay, let's just see what's there. And I'll just see what comes in. I'll do that.
Love it.
It's speed dating with spirit and with wine. And I get to drink wine and it's amazing. And I love that.
What
Anybody
kind of wine is poured, though? I got to know before I come.
it's whatever they want from Uncorked.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, they got a nice
fun.
selection. We should go.
Oh, we're there.
Yeah, we'll definitely go.
Okay.
Yay.
I'm so happy
So
to meet you.
I have a question for you, and it's pretty simple. Please tell our listeners, how can they find you?
Probably Instagram is where I get
And your
That
Instagram
is
handle?
where we found each
Jennifer
other.
M. Shaffer, Shaffer, not SCH.
Right.
We couldn't afford the C.
No, the SHA is the Jewish spelling.
Really?
Yeah, without the C.
We were told it was the right spell. Whatever.
I don't
but
know.
It's just funny. Yeah.
Okay, Jennifer.
All right,
M.
Jennifer
Schaefer.
M. Schaefer on Instagram.
And then just-
SHAEFFER.
No, SHAFFER.
FFER.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
the eight. So, or just jennifershaffer.com.
Gotcha.
And you are just fascinating.
Yeah, you're all. Would you come
Really,
back
you
again?
are a lovely.
Yes, I would come back.
Oh.
I would love to read you guys.
Oh, we would.
Well,
love
we can
that.
do it after we get off the air.
We would
Okay.
love that. No, it's more fun in the mics with the. Yeah.
It's,
well, let's
it's
video.
a visual thing,
Yes.
difficult for the listeners, but could be fun
Absolutely.
next time. But
And
take
we'll
a free
see
reading
you
right
in
now.
Uncorked and
how do people find
I'm
you?
just so happy we met. Thank you for being
am
on.
I.
I'm Sarah Halstead. I can be found at Sarah Halstead on all platforms.
And I'm Rich Chassler. I am at Rich Chassler on all platforms, except my website is richardchassler.com.
And thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Oh, by the way, really quickly, hold on. I'm sorry. We have to thank Corey Fry.
Corey, thank you.
We have to thank Doug Bass and Bass Hole Studios.
And Gentleman Farmer.
And Gentleman Farmer Wines, Jeff and Joey. We love you guys. And of course, Max Riedel and Riedel Glassware for always making the single best glassware known to man.
Cheers.
Thank you guys very much. You guys, tune in next time. Come see us on Drinking During Business Hours. Find the YouTube, give us a like, and we'll see you next time.